Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to make a little bit different video. This is going to be about my truck, which is a 2016 GMC Canyon with the 2.8 liter Duramax Diesel, so the little inline 4-banger turbo diesel. I have a little over 120,000 miles on the truck. In terms of issues with the truck during my ownership, probably the biggest issue thus far, at like 16,000 miles and change, one of the fuel pumps went out. I think it was the sender in the tank, and it literally left me stranded at the side of the road. I'm trying to think of what else with this truck. The only other sort of performance related deal, at about 80,000 miles, I started to have a little bit of a transmission slip and shudder, and kind of that third, fourth gear transition. So at 80,000 miles, flushed it, that took care of it. And then it started to come back again at about 115,000. Flushed it again, it's been fine. So about a week ago, I got a P0134 code. I'll put a screenshot of the code. So to me, that looked like an old O2 sensor code from like a normal gas vehicle. I didn't really think anything of it. It was a check engine light. I just cleared the codes. We were at the racetrack at the time. I cleared them, everything seemed fine. Then just yesterday, I got this exhaust fluid quality poor warning, and told me that I had 100 miles until 65 mile per hour max speed would be essentially governed in, right? And doing some more research, if you hit that threshold, then you've got another 100 miles, and then it'll stop you at 55, and then after that it will stop you at 4 miles per hour. So doing more research on this warning, it seems like it's not really the DEF fluid. In a small percentage of cases, it does seem like people were getting bad DEF fluid that appears to be in the later models of this powertrain in this truck. But more often than not, from my research anyway on the forums, it looks like it's typically NOx sensor related. And that would make sense given the fact that I just threw a code for that at 120,000 miles. So I've got the truck now at my brother's shop. He's got a good scan tool. My cheapy OBD2 scan tool could not clear this code. So the hope is we can get my brother's good scan tool hooked up to this thing, watch some real-time NOx readings from the sensors. The other issue that's sort of, well, it's obviously related to this, is that these NOx sensors are like insanely hard to find. It looks like they're on the fourth iteration, the third change, so the fourth new unique part number for this sensor. Now, fortunately, my brother's connections, I was able to locate an upstream and downstream NOx sensor, NOx sensor, at local dealerships. I had to go to two different ones because one had the upstream and one had the downstream. I've got the parts. I'm just waiting for kind of a slot to open up so that my brother can assess the truck, and we'll look at the scan tool readings at that point. Scary. Okay, so we've got a Snap-on
Apollo D8
hooked up.
Checking the codes. No codes. Okay.
Well, I cleared that P013A.
Okay. Just surprises me because let's go back. I want to see if there's like a
Reductant level warning indicator command. Okay, that's obviously off because it's full.
Interesting too. Okay. This is heater. Yeah, there's like a ton of heaters.
Oh, there we go.
Here we go.
NOx sensor.
Okay, look at this one. PPM
minus 100. And the other one's at minus 100. I wonder what happens if you turn on the truck. Okay, so now obviously the truck is running, as you can hear. Just turn this off.
NOx concentration. Alright, so they say do... Okay, so you can reset the catalyst as well, which is like the particulate filter, I believe. And then we'll do they want you to do the first one and then do the second one. Okay. I want to look and see what the PID's showing in here first. Okay, it doesn't even give you the value for it. Reset. Okay, reset completed successfully. We'll do 2. Reset. Okay.
Okay, so both NOx sensors have been reset.
Okay, now we're at 0. So it was reading minus 100 before, right?
Yep, on both.
Yep.
So hanging there is the downstream module that's just been released from the frame rail. Torching loose the downstream sensor. Here's the downstream replacement. It's got the gray plug on it. So a little torch kiss and it came out pretty easy.
Yeah, if you don't kit it with the torch, and if it can come out and it'll like just chowder the threads on like the pipe side.
Yep.
So you really want to make sure you get some heat on it if it's hard.
That's what she said. All right, you can see how sooty and dirty it is. Having a hard time focusing on it there. That's her right there.
Yes, it's right there.
Yep.
Just crack it loose. Oh, is it tight?
No, lefty loosen.
Oh.
Okay, Cody had to put the oxy torch on it and give it a little bit more Polska power.
A little convincing.
But eventually he got to budge here, so now he's just, it's still hot obviously from the torch, so he's got the rags. Might need to get the
You might have to disconnect it from the bottom, because
won't turn.
well, it's just the harness kind of stops it from, it's moving, but yeah. Let's get it disconnected up down low and get the module up here.
So note, if you're doing this yourself, disconnect the module first. That should allow you to spin it once you actually get it cracked loose. I mean, the hard part's over. Got it cracked. But
then it just comes down, it's like right next to this flex pipe. So you pull this little heat wrap off of the connector, pull the little red lock out, and then you should be able to just pull it off.
Boom.
And then 2 10 mils. The 110 mils a little buried, but shouldn't be too bad.
so we've got the module now loose and hanging right there. And Cody's gonna come back up here like a little monkey.
Yeah, I do this every day. Just kind of work it out by hand here.
And he's gonna get that out.
So these O2s, or NOx sensors, the bottoms of them, like the nut part, actually rotates freely around the actual sensor, but these ones are just like rusted together. So you do have to turn like the whole sensor itself. Like I can show you on the new one. It's actually a really nice feature, but
it doesn't work once it's seized.
Not in Minnesota, no. It doesn't work like that.
Okay, there she is.
Nothing to it. Ooh, it's still a little warm. Yeah. Yeah, so like this, the nut portion, at least on the other ones, I'm assuming this is the same way. This actually spins. It's kind of nice, but it just gets locked up in there. So, yeah.
Okay, now install is the reverse of the.
As all data states, installation, reversed order.
So
yeah.
he's threading it in using the rotatable deal there.
All right, kind of feed that back down there.
Okay, now he's so that's in, and now he's feeding it down. And I'm assuming he's gonna jack this thing back up. Okay, Cody is mounting the module to the frame rail.
Yeah.
Alright, so we've replaced both NOx sensors up and downstream of the SCR unit, and now we're going to do the bay thing.
The bay test.
Right now we're what? Not cool yet. It's warming up though.
Okay, check coolant level. Oil change may be necessary after running. Okay.
Okay, I got my oil filter change kit coming tomorrow, so.
The parking brake. Okay.
Can you? There it goes. All right, it's idling up.
Is this thing just gonna run away? Oh, okay, no. You ever seen a diesel run away? Like where basically it gets blow by from like the rings, and so basically it's feeding like the diesel oil up into the cylinder, and so it won't shut off. You cannot shut it off. It like you'll turn it off. The only way to stop it is to take like a metal plate and stick it onto the throttle body to choke the air off. But yeah, if you ever see like a diesel car and it's just like cholling smoke and it's just sitting on the side of the road, yeah, it's probably, this thing's fucking getting it. So it's like purging the...
Okay, so I stopped the video when we started the regen procedure in my brother's shop. We had never run that before, and if you've never done it before, it's pretty loud and kind of a little off-putting, a little disconcerting, because you're like, this is fucking loud. And we're in a general automotive shop, not like a diesel shop, so like basically we just decided to abort the test. So after we aborted the test, we kind of went down a few different rabbit holes. We checked the DEF pump. We pulled the line connector off of the actual DEF injector. Using my brother's scan tool, we forced the DEF pump to actually purge fluid, and it did come out. My little brother was expecting it to come out a little bit more forcefully, but when you look at what the computer had logged for a DEF usage, it was like 1.4 grams per kilometer. So that's really not a lot. That's like a cc and a half of fluid every, 2/3 of a mile. So I wasn't too concerned there. I was just glad to see that we didn't have some sort of crystallized blockage in the DEF line, and the pump was actually forcing fluid, to the injector. So at that time where I stopped the video on that test, I had to get going anyways, and my brother had a couple cars waiting to get into his bay. But after he did get through those cars, I was home at that time. He put this truck outside, reran the regen procedure. It took maybe 30-40 minutes. It took a while, but then the codes went away and everything seems good. I'll show you the dash here. So I just have the key on, but you can see, the check engine light. Well, it was never really there. Anyway, it was the DEF light, and the exhaust quality poor warning is now gone. So that's all great, at least for right now. In hindsight, I don't know if we really definitively quantifiably determined that it was the NOx sensors. Part of my rush to get them was, in looking online, it was just, as I mentioned before, so difficult to find these. I found them, the price wasn't totally insane, so I was like, whatever, let's just replace them anyway. I kept the old ones. I'm going to try to clean them up and just keep them in my, I got a little bin in my bed that I just keep, jumper cables, booster box. I'll probably just keep them in there with a little O2 removal tool. O2 sensor removal tool, just in case when I'm on the road in the middle of nowhere. Worst case scenario, I could throw those in if the local mechanic doesn't have access to these types of parts. But so that is also kind of a segue into, if you are going to attempt this replacement yourself, if you can't force the regen procedure, I suppose you can physically change the NOx sensors and then take it to a shop and have them force the regen, or take it to the dealer and have them do it. I don't know what the dealer's policies are in doing that, if they haven't done the work, so to speak. But if you've got a buddy who's got a diesel tuner or a diesel tool that can do that, then that's an option. But for us, the codes didn't go away and the potential for limp mode didn't go away until we could do that regen procedure after replacing the NOx sensors with new ones. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. Well, I think we're gonna wait a couple weeks here and just make sure that these warnings don't come back on. So it's been about 300 miles. You see I got 33 miles per gallon on that time since the NOx sensor change, and all's good. So yay, truck's fixed.